Yeah. Villas-Boas infamously left Lampard, Essien and Ashley Cole on the bench for a Champions League knockout game against Napoli and ended up losing 3-1. Then a few days later, he lost to West Brom, so he was sacked. His assistant, Roberto Di Matteo, took over as interim caretaker manager and was able to pull off a comeback against Napoli and ultimately led Chelsea to the final. Chelsea played the final of the 2012 Champions League against Bayern Munich right in Bayern Munich's home, and they very nearly lost. But Drogba scored a very late equaliser in normal time to force extra time. In extra time, Petr Cech made a huge penalty save to keep things at 1-1 and take the game to penalties, where Chelsea defeated the Germans to claim their first ever Champions League title. With this, Chelsea became the first London club to ever win the UEFA Champions League. And, as expected, Di Matteo was made permanent head coach that summer. You would think that winning the Champions League and the FA Cup would buy Di Matteo enough time at the club, but Abramovich didn't care about that. After he lost the Champions League game to Juventus, which pretty much knocked Chelsea out of the competition, Di Matteo was sacked. His reign as permanent manager lasted only 8 months. He was replaced by Rafa Benitez, who then went on to lead Chelsea to Europa League success in 2013. Now, since the 2013 Europa League final was played before the Champions League final, Chelsea became the only club in football history to be holders of both the Champions League and the Europa League at the same time. Anyway, in 2013 Benitez was sacked, and that allowed Mourinho to return. It was another successful stint in charge for the Special One, as he led Chelsea to the domestic double of the Premier League and the League Cup in 2015. But the sacking continued. Mourinho was sacked halfway into the 2015-16 season, and then Antonio Conte came and took over ahead of the 2016-17 season. In the Italian's first season in charge, he won the Premier League, becoming only the second coach to beat Pep Guardiola to a league title. He also reached the FA Cup final that year, but he lost to Arsenal. However, he came back the next season to win the FA Cup, beating Manchester United in the final. But despite finishing the season with a trophy, Conte was sacked after he finished 5th in the Premier League table and failed to qualify for the Champions League. Abramovich showed absolutely no mercy. Conte was replaced with Maurizio Sarri, who helped Chelsea win the Europa League, beating Arsenal in the final. He also led them to the League Cup final that season, but they lost on penalties to Manchester City. It was that game where Sarri nearly lost his mind on the touchline after Kepa refused to come off. Anyway, Sarri's reign at Chelsea lasted only 1 year, but for once it wasn't because he was sacked. According to the gaffer, he wanted to be closer to his elderly parents in Italy, so he opted to move back and take the Juventus job. Sarri